I was walking through the city centre earlier, not rushing, not listening to anything. I was literally just walking around and watching. Once you actually slow down and look around at people, you can see it in their eyes, in their posture, in the way that they're moving through the space and the way that they're carrying themselves. You can see the struggle in the majority of people that are walking around. Go try it out and you'll see what I'm on about. It's not dramatic struggle, not Hollywood breakdowns, the quiet kind, the clenched jaw, the hunched shoulders, the blank stare, the nervous energy, and the absence of presence. People walking like life is something that they're enduring, not living. And before anybody twists this, I'm not judging them, not for a second, because I've been there and I've been one of them people. I know that look so well because I've worn it and I've lived it myself. That look where you're technically functioning, but internally you're drowning, going to work, paying bills, showing up, but feeling like you're carrying a weight on your shoulders that nobody can see. And life has a way of doing that to people. Pressure keeps on stacking quietly, responsibilities accumulate, disappointments compound, dreams shrink, identity erodes. And most people never ever talk about it. They just carry it, they keep going. Because life can be hard. That's not pessimism, that's reality. There's this weird pressure online to pretend that life is either amazing or tragic, either ends of some extreme scale. But it's usually neither, but it does get heavy. It's work, responsibility, uncertainty, loss, comparison. It's expectations that you didn't ask for. And for most people, life isn't falling apart all at once in some dramatic way. It's just been slowly grinding them down over years, bit by bit. And what I noticed today wasn't sadness, it was fatigue. People are tired, all the way to their bones, tired of thinking, tired of worrying, tired of pretending that they're okay, tired of fighting inside their own head. And here's the worst part. Life doesn't stop being hard just because you choose to ignore it, and it doesn't get lighter just because you numb yourself from it. It doesn't get kinder because you choose to avoid responsibility. It just keeps on coming. Life keeps on coming at all of us. So the real question isn't, how do I make life easy? It should be, how do I become strong enough to carry it and to handle what life throws at me with no struggle, easily? Because most people are just underprepared for the life that they're living. And this is an uncomfortable truth. Most people are living adult lives with childlike level coping systems. No structure, no physical outlet, no mental discipline or emotional regulation, and no standards for themselves. Waking up already stressed, instantly scrolling, fueling themselves with caffeine and sugar, and sitting all day with unresolved thoughts, carrying pressure with nowhere to put it, and then unwind with distractions, substances, or noise. And then you wonder why anxiety is everywhere, why depression feels so common, why people feel lost, and why relationships are strained, why patience is thin, and why tempers snap. Because you don't need to be broken to actually feel broken. You don't need to actually be broken to feel broken, sorry. You just need to be unprepared. I didn't always see life like this. I used to live that way. There was a time where I walked through places exactly like that, head completely full with stress and overwhelm, body tight and stiff, nervous system fried. I looked strong on the outside, but I was so chaotic and self-destructive on the inside, using distractions and addictive substances to cope. But from the outside, looking in, I probably looked fine, but inside I promise you I was exhausted. Not just weak, I had no system, not a daily system, no daily structure to regulate the stress, no mental work to calm my thoughts down, no discipline to anchor me, and no physical outlet with any kind of intention. So life felt like something that was happening to me, not something that I was leading. And here's the thing that nobody tells you. When you don't build strength intentionally, life will build it for you. And life's not gentle about it, I promise you that. I promise you that right now. Life will slap us all in the face. Strength's not about ego, it's about capacity. Because when I talk about becoming stronger mentally and physically, people just hear ego. They think it's about showing off, about aesthetics, about dominance, about being quote unquote alpha. But it's not. It's about capacity. Because when you can carry pressure without collapsing, can you sit in discomfort without having to escape? Can you think clearly when the emotions rise? Can you handle responsibility without resenting it? Can you stay present when life doesn't go your way? Because that's real strength. And most people never train it up because it's easier just to distract themselves. They just hope life doesn't test them too hard. But life tests us all and take us all to breaking point. Your body is the first line of defense against life. This part's so simple, but nearly every person I speak to overcomplicates it. A weak, neglected body amplifies stress. A trained body can absorb it. Training is not just about looking good, it's about teaching your nervous system that discomfort is survivable and actually can be enjoyable. When you train regularly, your stress hormones regulate, anxiety's got somewhere to go, your confidence gets embodied, and emotions don't become overwhelmed as easily, so you stop feeling like everything is a threat. But life still hits. It just doesn't knock you out and keep you down as easily. And that's not motivational talk, that's physiology. Your mind also needs training too, whether you like it or not. Because here's where people get uncomfortable when they come to me, when I get new coaching clients. But everyone needs to accept that their body needs training. But the moment you talk about their mind and training it, people start to mock it. Reading, journaling, gratitude, subconscious reprogramming, and silence. Suddenly it's weird or try hard or woo-woo. But then the same people live their lives every day with racing thoughts, constant anxiety, emotional reactivity, and self-sabotage. And then they call that normal. But you don't get mental clarity by accident. You have to build it. And it's just like strength. So giving yourself a fighting chance in this life isn't about arrogance, it's about responsibility. And this is the part that I wish more people understood, because becoming the best version of yourself isn't about thinking you're better than others and better than everybody else and God's gift to this earth. It's about respecting life enough to meet it prepared, because life will hit us all. Because when you don't get ready, frustration leaks onto your loved ones, resentment builds quietly, and addictions start to creep in, and your self-respect disappears, and you don't suffer alone because everybody around you feels it too. Strength is not selfish, it's stabilizing for yourself and everybody around you. Because I see men everywhere trying to cope instead of build. Walking through the city today, I saw men carrying families, jobs, responsibilities, pressure, internal pressure, trying to hold it together with coffee, self-deprecating humour, weekends, distractions, shiny objects, but no structure, outlet or plan. Just grit and hope. But hope is not a strategy, because at some point, something cracks, and usually it's quietly. But life doesn't reward potential, it responds to preparation. And this is the part that separates people. Two people can face the same life, the same economy, the same stress, the same challenges. And one crumbles, the other one adapts. And the difference is not talent, it's about preparation. The man who trains his body, trains his mind, and builds discipline has options. But the man who doesn't is at the mercy of circumstance. And when you're at the mercy of circumstance, life will take the piss out of you, I promise you that. But becoming better isn't about perfection, it's about direction. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You need direction. You need a daily system that grounds you physically, steadies you mentally, builds trust with yourself, and can compound over time, day after day, because consistency beats intensity every time. Because you don't need to win every day in a glorious fashion. You just need to show up and do your daily non-negotiables, because the world doesn't need more opinionated men. It needs more capable ones, because everybody has an opinion. Few people have discipline, because everybody wants to be heard. But few people really want to do the work every single day without fail. Because the men who actually change their lives don't talk the most, they train, they reflect, they build quietly. And over time, it really starts to show in how they walk, in how they speak, in how they carry pressure, in how they treat people, and how they lead. This isn't about becoming somebody else, it's about becoming stable. And the goal isn't to turn into some different magical unicorn of a person. It's about stop fighting yourself and being your own worst enemy. It's about building a body that supports you, a mind that doesn't feel like your own worst enemy, and a life that doesn't feel like you need to escape from it. That's exactly what mental and physical mastery actually is. No hype, no ego, just stability. Because if life is hard, don't make it harder for yourself by staying weak and unprepared. That's the truth that I wish someone had said to me earlier, because everyone was trying to sell me get rich quick schemes or fancy things. But life's demanding, so why face it underprepared? Why walk into pressure with no armour? Why live in your head with no tools to deal with the pressure? Why carry responsibility with no strength? Because you don't need to become extreme. You need to become capable. So let me get into the final thought before I leave you. As I finish walking through the city today, the one thing that's really stuck with me the most is that most people aren't lazy, they're just overwhelmed. Because most people aren't stupid, they're just untrained. And most people aren't broken, they're just underprepared and under-resourced for the life that they live in. And that's fixable. So you don't need to escape life. You just need to build yourself enough to be able to meet it. Train your body, train your mind, build discipline and build structure. Give yourself a fighting chance, because life is going to keep coming at you either way. But the only question is whether you'll be strong enough to stand there when it does. But click the link in the description and download a free copy of the Become Unfuckwithable Blueprint. That's the daily and the physical system that I talk about in all my videos. It's changed my life and changed so many of my clients' lives. It's revolutionary and it's free, there for you to download and use at your own will. So I'll see you in the next video. But like I always say, don't bother clicking on the next video if you're not going to download the free system that will change your life. I'll see you then.